What's up, everybody? I'm Wayward Jessica, and tonight we are going to be breaking the stigmas of mental health. I'm sure we've all heard. I'm sure we've all heard some sort of bullshit theory when it came to mental health issues, some stereotype, and some magical fucking cure. Um, and we're here tonight to challenge these things. So let's meet our guests. We have the amazing Sean SVV.
Oh, it's nice to meet you.
We
Hello.
have we have the beautiful Prashana. And we got my favorite little brother up in the house. We got Kid Casper.
Hey yo, chill out, B. I'm over. I just
Never
I just got
ever.
done making ramen. My bad, my bad.
Never ever.
Uh,
Anyway, how y'all doing tonight?
Doing well.
Awesome. So, Prashana, Sean, y'all haven't been on the podcast before. So why don't y'all introduce yourselves? Tell me your name, what you do, and give me your favorite pastime. Who would like to go first?
Well, Prashana, go first.
Me?
Okay, go ahead, Prashana.
Okay. My name and my favorite pastime, right? Was that
Yeah,
it?
your name, what you do, and your favorite pastime.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So my name is Prashana Embry, and what do? I am a teacher. My big thing is decolonizing. That's sort of my shtick. Sounding weird, but I teach decolonizing science, politics, math, even. Like uncovering the poetry behind math, just different subjects. So I'm blessed to teach at different African-centered schools or tutoring and whatnot. And my favorite pastime is writing. I love to write, and sports too. I'm not I'm not the greatest at it, but I just love them though.
Do you write like do you write as in like journal, or do you write like a novel or poetry? What kind of stuff you like to write?
Yeah, so now a lot of the writing goes in like writing curriculum and writing content, for like different series I'm working on. Yay, Black Girl, where you at? But outside of that, outside of like this like different series I'm working on, I have had a blog. I haven't written since I got on TikTok because now I kind of vlog. But and then I've done like poetry and spoken word poetry, and I have written short stories, and I think I've written like 2 novels and stuff like that. Yeah. And journalism too. I like journalism.
Okay. Look at you. Can't nobody stop your ass. I love it. Okay, Sean, you want to introduce yourself?
Definitely. Hey everyone, my name is Sean Zolik von Valkenburg. I'm a full-time student or grad student, currently taking a hiatus from grad school because of the pandemic. Oh, hi, John. My favorite pastime is painting. Like, I literally do that nonstop. There's some paintings right there. And I'm a full-time dog dad. Luna is right over there. She's just chilling out.
Yes. What's your favorite thing to paint?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, so I have synesthesia. It's called chromesthesia. So I like to listen to so much music and paint what I see in my mind's eye. And it's a really good experience. And it's a good way of not like tuning out or checking out, like going on Netflix for 20 minutes and like not existing. It's really good to stay in tune and really create and not just like be isolated.
I love that. I just want you to know that like if you come on this podcast, I've adopted you. So you're my brother now, Prashana. You're my sister. And speaking of brothers with synesthesia, Casper, why don't you tell us what your favorite pastime is?
Oh gosh. Let's see if we're talking. Hi everybody. Pastime, I would have to say it would have to be somewhere between writing lyrics because I make music and stuff like that, or doing graphic designing. Sean mentioned he has synesthesia. I have synesthesia as well. Literally every time I hear sound, I see colors. it tends to add to anxiety in a sense when it comes to sensory overload, but we'll get into that tonight. Good to know there's somebody else that probably their favorite color is black because they're so sick of seeing colors all day. So I know somebody else understands.
Awesome. What was your uh favorite little bit of lyrics that you've ever written?
Oh, you doing that? Oh, dag, we
I
really going
sure
there.
am.
That's like mad disrespectful. My favorite lyrics. That why you gotta put me on blast like that? I don't like this. Like now everybody looking at me, I'm all
Mm,
awkward and stuff.
mm. Now you know how it feels. Now you know how it feels.
This is absolutely disrespectful. Um, let me see. It would probably have to be like my intro. When I say, man, you really put me on blast right now. This is trash. Do me a favor, dog. Watch your mouth when you speak to me. Communicating with my father, you don't frequent these frequencies. I got a seat at the table, but my enemies still eat with me. You either vegan or gluten free because you don't want no bread or beef with me. You know what I'm saying? So just letting people know I don't really like you don't want the smoke with me. You know what I'm saying? You don't got the lungs for it. That's all y'all get for the rest of the show. That's it. Put me on blast with a freestyle. Don't appreciate it. I'm gonna cuss you out later. God bless you.
That's all we're finna get because you got to sign up for the Patreon in order to get more. Anyhow, so since we are breaking the stigmas of mental health, I think it's really important for us to do a mental health check-in. How are y'all feeling tonight? Who want to go first? I will so pick. Go ahead, Sean.
Oh, really good. Currently on the top of digging myself out of a burnout hole. But it's really important to take time, do a lot of self-care, like really self-care is important. But I'm in a good headspace right now.
That's great. I saw your video about feeling burnt out, and I was like, oh my god, I hope he's okay. So I'm glad that you're feeling better now. Definitely. Casper, Pashana, how y'all doing tonight? Mental health check-in. Casper, how you doing?
What is happening around here? Mental health, you know how I do this scale. We do 1 to 10 because if it's a 0, that means you're dead. So I'm probably at a solid 4, I would say. I feel like it is the way direction in life is going. It is going to be a 10. Um, Relinquishing control so it can get to that 10 gives me anxiety, so it keeps me at a 4, I would say. But yeah, that's essentially where I'm at right now. Yes.
That's real.
Yeah, I feel that so much with the anxiety. I really, really do.
Yeah.
Prashana, how you doing tonight?
This kiwi helped. I just ate some kiwi. Fruit really do something for mental health. I'm gonna tell you that. For me at least. It's a little rough. It's a little rough right now, but I'm blessed. You know what I mean? I have a home. I got plants. I got things I'm passionate about. You know. But yeah, it's a rough transition time right now, I would say. Yeah. Shall I give more?
Only if you want to, babe. Only if you want to.
I'm sure it'll come out.
Oh yeah, we gonna be getting all up
Right.
into it tonight. And I didn't need you to try to pull my baby hairs like that. I really didn't need that. So I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I told my brother that he yelled at me for. I'm all right. I'm at like a 3.5. For me, that's still all right. You're always gonna hear I'm all right for me simply because I am a full-time single mother. So I don't really get to not be all right. I'm working on it though. I am working on it. However, I'm just like a lot of anxiety. Personally, for me, I have the anniversary of a family member coming up. of their deaths. So I'm struggling, but um, I'm all right, because at the end of the day, I do still have me. I do still have my kids, and I do still have my family. So because of that, I will never be at a zero, and I'm okay with that. Um, all right. So I know we've heard a lot of stereotypes about having mental health. Um, for me, I have CPTSD and ADHD. A lot of people think that because I have ADHD, I can't sit my ass down. That's not true. It's not true at all. Um, so my question for y'all is, what is something um, about your mental health that people have kind of stereotyped and believe about you when you say, like, hi, my name is such and such, I have this, and they go, oh, you're like this. How what's something that you guys have noticed has been a stereotype about your condition? I will pick. Hey, Prashana, how you doing, girl?
Me?
Yes, girl.
Well, I think I'm still processing what all it could be, right? So I think for me, I've recognized maybe for five, maybe 5 to 7 years now that anger management is a thing for me. And so for me, just kind of taking the time and not putting myself in environments that, because at first it was like, you shouldn't even be like this, like, just be better, and so I would just put myself in environments that I wasn't ready for, that would like test my my temper. And so it was like, but because I didn't give myself any excuse, it was like, you know what, it's not like you're punking out. You have to do what's right for you. You got to put yourself in an environment that you're ready for, and you're just not ready for it. And that doesn't say anything about this environment. It just says where you're at right now. So so I would say that I think lately, just kind of figuring out, because I have bipolarity in my family. And so kind of figuring out, well, is that me then? Like, do I have that? And just being mindful of triggers. So I don't know. I think to answer your question, I don't know, because I haven't just being able to say, hey, I'm this and I'm this. So like I haven't had that feedback yet. Well, actually, no. I think when I say that, okay, I have some anger management, I'm working on that, then sometimes a response that might come out is like, "Ooh, I want to see you mad." It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It's not cute.
Yo, I have heard that like my whole life. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm getting pissed. You don't want to
Yeah,
fuck with me. Stop.
yeah.
Fucking stop. And they're like, I want to see you get mad. You're cute when you're mad.
It's a thing, right? Because it's like because we're women, right? Or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you gotta be cute when you mad. It's like,
Right.
it doesn't feel
then they
good.
upset. Then they upset when they sitting over there holding their nuts crying in the corner. Like, I
Yeah,
told you not to fuck with me. Stop
right,
it.
Who does
right,
that?
right.
Like is it what position? Is it just like, is it like
They
like
just
a
be
tea bag?
cradling
Like
them.
they just
They just be cradling them.
cradling too? Are they slobbering a little
Just
bit?
all
Like
of,
what
they got
what
the
we talking about?
slobber, the snot, everything going.
Oh man.
Look.
They probably wear their jeans to bed.
Yes. And eat their Kit Kat sideways. Yes, yes. But yeah, I've noticed that a lot.
I
Can't
know,
stand
it's
it.
it's kind of angering when they say that. It's just like, you making me mad right now. Like, that's not cute. Like, I don't. It doesn't feel cute, and nobody thinks it's cute. Like, when they gotta face it. So like, let's not romanticize this thing here.
Yeah, that's a good point. Cause like, okay, Hollywood, can you stop like like fetishizing women who get angry, because understand that like some of us will fuck you up. Stop it. You're gonna get these little boys hurt out here. Stop it.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh. All right. Casper, Sean, what y'all got for me? What is something that you have noticed has been stereotyped about your condition? I will pick.
So this is a really good question because I didn't realize how detrimental the stereotypes were for ADHD and OCD until I was formally diagnosed. Because I grew up with a sister with hyperactivity and ADHD, and there's multiple forms of ADHD, so I was inattentive, but my giftedness masked that, so I was twice exceptional. So my performance, no one suspected I had ADHD. And one of the most harmful things people think about ADHD is like, oh, you're just bouncing off the walls, you're running around, you're disorganized. But really, it's so detrimental because the way that we have to mask, that we present, it's like not acceptable. And it's because of the stigma of mental health, you look or are perceived as unwell and unorganized. And especially in an academic setting where it's glorified to like be mentally ill, but also be like succeeding at the same time, it is just exponentially compounded in terms of how detrimental that stereotype can be, because people have a perception of you, and then if you don't fulfill it, it's kind of awkward in how you fit into the social stratification of an academic setting. But with OCD, people think like you have germophobia, you're obsessed with putting everything at a right angle. I mean, my room's not a good example of that right now because I literally just did that out of stress, as you can see. But it's not always like that. And mental health is extremely complex, nuanced, and if people really understood that there's an undulation in mental health in terms of how you are suffering with OCD, for an example, and ADHD, people would probably understand that it's not always consistent. Like, this is a good day. On a bad day, I'd be in my bed. There'd be pain everywhere. But that's also okay. And I hate that people are like, you are unwell because you look disorganized, because you're not fitting that perception of OCD, obsessed with everything.
That's
Yeah.
really-
Yeah, definitely. Like for instance, like I'm gonna be honest. Pandemic hit me hard as far as mental health wise. Um, I didn't do a fucking thing. I have ADHD and I didn't do a fucking thing. Um, because I would start stuff and I wouldn't finish it. And then it just got worse. And it got so much worse that it got overwhelming. And I didn't do anything. Or, you have this part of ADHD where I can't draw a straight line, but that did not stop me from painting my bedroom. I did what I did. It's great. I like it. Before it was powder blue. Fuck that. Anyhow.
Did that though.
I did. I said, fuck it. Casper, what is something that has been stereotyped about your mental health stuff?
So, for those that don't know and don't follow me and haven't listened to like any of my podcasts, so I have bipolar 2 disorder or hypomania, and I think the most annoying thing for me personally with bipolar disorder is people see one example of somebody that is having a mania moment in a sense, and then they attach that characteristic to anybody else that either does have bipolar disorder, or they overdiagnose people that don't even have bipolar disorder. So then they sensationalize it and try to normalize it in a sense. But for us, like when I say us, like people that are like that deal with this chemical imbalance and everything, it comes off as if we're doing it to be performative, but we're not. You know what I'm saying? We're people that are in pain. We are trying to articulate to the best way to people to let them know, like, hey, I'm in a bad place. I'm having an episode. And not even that. Every feeling as far as emotion you have is invalidated, because what ends up happening is if you do get upset, they automatically think, oh man, you must be having an episode. You must be in a bad way. It makes it seem like I'm not, or I haven't taken the steps in which I need to do to know myself, to educate myself, not only on like this disorder, but on myself, because I'm the one that's dealing with it. So the stereotype that comes with bipolar disorder, I would say, is that it's just like when we talk about, you know, the black experience, the black experience is not a monolithic experience. Um, how other people deal with bipolar disorder is not legislative, which means that there's not necessarily a right and wrong way to deal with it. The wrong way, I would say, is just not doing anything about it. And I think that can become very damaging, I would say. And we end up otherizing people than humanizing. So that's always been a gripe for me since I've been diagnosed in 2019. So yeah.
And also, from my experience, what I've noticed is even with physician, like psychiatrists as well, in the medical field, they will misdiagnose something as bipolar. I was misdiagnosed as bipolar, even though I have CPTSD. They overlooked my trauma and just saw the symptoms from my trauma, and did not pay attention to any of the triggers that I was mentioning. And because of that, I wasn't being properly cared for by my doctor. And yeah, so and can we stop thinking that when someone is having a manic moment, it means like they think they can fucking fly or some shit? Can we stop? Because that's not, I mean, it may be that way for some people, but not every manic moment for someone is going to be the same. Not every manic moment, period, is going to be the same. Um, and I think that that's a good way to dive into our next topic. What is something that you wish people knew about your condition, or about mental health awareness, period, that isn't really well known? Who wants to go first? Come on, y'all. This is the conversation.
I can go. Okay, so okay. Sorry, it's like so much happening like right now, so I'm trying not to cry.
No, you're good. You're good. This is called not your safe zone. But for my panelists, it is. Period.
Okay.
So it's not safe for the motherfuckers watching. Period.
So yeah, actually we're doing counseling sessions right now, and let me get some water. I think when I mentioned that I had a parent, who was dealing with bipolar, then lately, which I didn't know before, that like what mental health professionals will start to say is that oh well, usually if a parent has it, then it gets passed on, so like there's more high potential for you to have it. So that kind of got me thinking, like, is that me? Like, do I? Because I know I have triggers. I definitely have triggers. So what if those triggers are part of like bipolar? So I've just been trying to catch them more. For me, I think the pandemic has just allowed more time to myself, so I can really like pay attention to those times I feel triggered. Yeah, so I think kind of like what you said, Casper, like when I was doing this counseling session, um and I was speaking about my past and how we grew up in my household, and it was kind of like paper description, I guess, like, okay, you got a parent who's bipolar, with like control things, so then you probably have that as well. And I'm not gonna lie, like I have been really thinking about control. Like, okay, are you trying to control this moment right now? Don't control it, let it be. you know, so I've really been cognizant of that. But I felt like in the counseling session, it almost felt like the immediate was that, oh, okay, since you have that, and since you had that growing up, then you must be that off top, right? And I felt like I kind of had to explain that, well, because I had that growing up, I try not to be that, you know, but I do have triggers that bring me to the point of just losing my temper, you know, but like oftentimes what I've seen is that the triggers get like lowered, if that makes sense. Like the triggers aren't as important as your reaction, so then the focus becomes on your reaction. And for me, it's like, okay, I will own my reaction, and I will work on that, you know, like, but can we also acknowledge the triggers and not just gaslight the person who's trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with her mental health?
That part.
Yeah, just because if you haven't dealt with yours, but I have. So it's kind of like that shadow work stuff, right? It's like if I'm doing my shadow work, but somebody else isn't doing their shadow work, then it's like, okay, then I'm gonna gaslight the person who's doing their shadow work because she knows she got to work on that shit. So I'm good. I ain't got nothing to do with this. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, bruh. Okay. So you don't contribute. You didn't contribute nothing to this, huh? Because you're good. It's just me. Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna say this. Stop telling people who are struggling with mental health issues to get their shit together while they're alive. And then when it's too late, don't come crying at their funeral saying, why didn't they reach out? Bitch, we did.
Yeah.
You just weren't listening.
And I think the thing is, like, we're all working through things, right? We all have our shadows. We're all, and that's something I've been talking to a friend about. Is just like, yo, do you know one of the most liberating things for me has been to realize that I have shit to work on. Like, you know, maybe try it, because it's freeing as fuck. It's really liberating. Like, just own the fact that you got shit to work on too. You know what I mean?
Definitely. It's okay to not be okay. It's something I'm still learning every day. However, I want everybody listening, everybody on the panel to understand it's okay to not be okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you are struggling, whether it's situational or mental health wise, it's okay to not be okay. And I'm gonna keep saying that this whole motherfucking episode because you know what? That's the biggest stigma of them all when it comes to mental health. It is okay to not be okay, damn it. And with that being said, Sean, Casper, what y'all got for me?
Sorry, I need to put this down. It's like I wish that more people would. By other people, I mean people who are not neurodivergent and who don't suffer the compounded mental strain of having to deal with the diagnosis or something that's undiagnosed while living in a neurotypical world. I wish more people would listen, but people would also create space for those who they sense it but don't know what it is. So then that person knows that they're being heard, listened, also validated, and then taking time. This is a really difficult thing because a lot of people who are neurotypical get frustrated by this, but knowing how to create distance but connection at the same time and not being overbearing, but also
say that one more time, please, sir. Please, one more time. One more again, please.
The balance of, was it about the balance of finding like not being overbearing and like peckish, but at the same time creating distance and building that connection, letting them know that you're always going to be there for them, but knowing the caveats behind that, and respecting that.
Yes. 1,000 fucking times. Yes. Stop getting up my ass just because I say I'm triggered or I say I'm having an issue. And I mean, I was already breastfed once. I don't need it again. Casper, what is something that you wish people would understand?
I think the main thing is I say this with much love as possible, and that's without being can I say this politely? Not really. What somebody else is going through with their mental illness, or better yet, we'll just say that they tick differently. When somebody ticks differently, that has everything to do with them and not so much what it has to do with you. I feel like sometimes that people, whether you're like close friends or family, um they think that they get to police how others, especially like when we're talking about somebody that is dealing with triggers, that is dealing with some of these episodes and everything like that. We tend to, because we think that we have some type of, and I keep using this term, relational equity with them, that we can somehow dictate and police how they're supposed to react to something that they only have to deal with. And when I say that they only have to deal with, when these episodes are happening, they pretty much have to go, they y'all might get like a secondhand smoke version of like what this feels like, just because you're dealing with, like, as Prashana spoke on, the reactions or the responses and stuff. But what's going on the inside is, it may look fun and sensational for some people, but it's like torture sometimes. And I think that we need to not get to, I think we need to stop trying to how do I think we need to, when we're listening, and we're not trying to tell somebody how they're actually feeling when they're expressing their thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Because we have voices, we have hearts that break and bleed just like everybody else's.
Mm, all of that. All of that. For me,
What happened?
Where'd
Okay,
she
just
go?
completely. I don't know. She got kicked to the shadow realm. That was weird.
She got Ethan.
Oh no.
There
Oh,
Oh,
she
did
is.
she
There
go?
she is. Come on.
that's good.
She loading.
y'all, I'm so sick and motherfucking tired of my FBI agent not letting me live my life. Huh. I was about to drop a gem, and they went ahead and they were just like, "Nope,
They don't want you to
fuck
be
you,
great.
bitch."
You know what I'm
They
saying?
don't.
You out
They
here,
don't.
you out here popping and stuff. Like, that's all it is. They don't want you to be great. They
They
cut you
don't.
off. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. They don't let me.
FB
They don't let me.
Izzy. She is speaking. Like, let her speak. You know what I'm saying?
um. So for me, and I'm gonna say this as respectfully as possible. Stop fucking thinking that only our veterans can have PTSD.
Mm,
Stop telling us that was so long ago and we need to get over it.
mm,
Um, Stop thinking that all triggers manifest in the same way. Um, just stop acting like you know PTSD when you clearly fucking don't. Um, and also, just for general mental health, therapy is for everybody. Stop thinking that it's only for quote unquote crazy people. First of all, we're not fucking crazy. We're rewired. We're wired differently.
Don't get me started. Please don't get me
I
started.
look. I said what I said.
Please, please don't get me started on that word. You mind if
I said.
can I can I
Go
yam
ahead.
this?
Go
You
on.
alley ooping it to me? Okay,
Go
okay,
ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
So Dave Chappelle said, and I quote, that don't call them crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's dismissive. They're not crazy. Maybe the environment that they are from is a little sick. So I always talk about, we need to stop demonizing Frankenstein's monster, and we need to think about the lab in which he came from. So before you even start critiquing people, that walk these streets, you need to realize what the home they came from before you even speak on how they should carry themselves. That's it. Appreciate the assist, my sister.
Okay.
Can we
Okay.
also talk about how all of this like hate towards people or stereotyping for mental health and mental illness is always nested in ableism? And people are so unaware. Like, I'm currently working on getting rid of that and recognizing my
Oh, y'all
language.
trying to get into it. Y'all trying to
Get
get into
into
it.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
Like, I'm
Speak,
fully,
sir.
I was going to say I'm fully aware, but I'm not fully aware because I have implicit biases. Like, just last week I was talking about when I used like a word, I think it was like, what was it? I don't think it was crazy. Maybe the word lunatic or something like that. I didn't realize it was ableist at the time, but there's a difference between you telling someone that they were being ableist or maybe you should change your language a little bit. Their reaction speaks mounds to the person they are, how much they're willing to change, and the accountability that they take. And I feel like you shouldn't have a ghostwriter for an apology. It should always come from the heart. And if you struggle with that, you need to be doing more work.
Snapping,
Sean,
man.
Sean, I feel like there was a tree in the middle of the road that you just threw with that ghostwriter apology, son.
Oh no, just some subtlety, some subtle shade. Not gonna get that
I
narcissist any more time.
mean, them bitches ain't safe here. That's for sure.
No
Even if I
one's
do
safe.
have
No
them
one's
on.
safe.
No one. It's not your safe zone for a reason. Yes, yes. We're just gonna bring it up on screen. We don't have to say it, but we're just gonna bring it up on screen.
The fact that it's not only Jayus.
The fact that I know
Jace.
the other person you're talking about because I brought them up on another podcast.
I need to say something very important before I forget. If someone is not respecting your boundaries that are based upon trauma and you clearly dictate those, and if they disrespect it one time, get them out of your life as soon as possible. Like, they don't get 3 strikes. 1 strike, they're done. Tell them to leave. If they don't respect that, block them on everything, and start to work on yourself at that point. Because you're doing stuff, and they don't like that, apparently.
So basically what you're saying is when people show you who they are, believe them, right?
Fully.
Yes, definitely. I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on that ghostwriter part. I'm still stuck on it. I know who you're talking about, so I'm just cackling in the back of my head. I just want you to know that. So shit. Here's my ADHD moment, y'all. Here it is. Hi, I'm Jessica. I have ADHD, and holy shit, I lost my train of thought. Anyhow, so let's actually kind of piggyback off of what Casper was saying. Y'all are so focused on coming at Frankenstein's monster with a bunch of pitchforks and torches. You're so focused on the symptoms. You're not looking at the source. You're not looking at the source. And understand that mental health issues manifest in different ways. Some people aren't born with it. It happens because of the toxic fucking environment they've grown up in. Some of it happens. Some of them are born with it. So it's different for everybody. So please stop giving us magical fucking cures. If I hear one more motherfucker tell me that if I'll be totally fine if I cut out red dye 40. I can't say it on YouTube. I can't even say it on YouTube. TikTok will damn sure ban me, but YouTube will fucking ban my ass too. Stop saying that shit, because I will slap the fuck out of you.
And
Or
another
stop.
thing that
Go ahead.
No.
I was just saying, stop telling people who are having depression or find it difficult to get out of bed to go outside. Do you fucking think that we didn't think of that shit? Do you think that? But I digress. Go ahead, Casper. Go ahead.
So the thing, like, even like when you say like depression, people don't understand that we just do that, like that you don't control these things. Like one thing when I always say, like when I tell people, "Oh, I'm depressed," they're like, "Well, what are you depressed? Like, look at all that you got around you. What you got to be depressed for?" I also have asthma. I'm like, nigga, look at all this oxygen. Do you think that I should still have a problem breathing? Why? Because I have a condition that hinders me from, you know what I'm saying? But people don't understand that though. They think they have to see it. They think that they think that they have to see it. You can't see a broken heart. You can't see a heart attack, but it happens. It's there. You know what I'm saying? We don't get to give paper cut diagnoses around here. It's childish and stupid. And look, I love Jesus, but I'm gonna end up kicking somebody down a manhole. I'm not trying to do that. Try Jesus, not me. Cause
As
it's the
as
worst.
Maya likes to sing in the Zooms, try Jesus, not
Ha!
me. um, yeah. Shit, lost it again. It's a really bad ADHD for me today.
No,
ADHD day for me.
you were talking about Frankenstein. I was talking about like the crazy tying that together to Frankenstein. You were taking that
Oh,
somewhere.
yes, you were bringing up that they can't see. They can't see what we're struggling with. And I think what's really important for neurotypical people to understand is that there is a disconnect there, because you don't see it, but we do. When we look in the mirror, that's what we see. For me personally, because I don't want to speak for everybody else, but for me personally, like for instance, I keep getting yelled at to stop taking pictures with filters and this, that, and third. It's not me trying to be vain. It's because when I look in the mirror, I see, um, like for instance, right here was broken at one point in my life. I see the scars from that. You can't see them. Well, there's my acne. Hi. You can't see them, but I see them.
It's not
I
acne, it's just fans. They like your face, so they
I'm
wanted to join you.
so
That's all
done.
it is. Yo, my niece said that to me the other day. So every time I break out now, I'm like, you're right. I got fans. They just want to be real
Fans.
close.
They just want to be close. Um, so like I see it as like, okay, you know how when you break a mirror, you do not see that image or that reflection the same way as you would if you're looking directly at it. Um, and every trauma that I've had in my life, there's another spider web. Every negative comment, there's another spider web. Every scar, there's another spider web. Um, so I don't see what y'all see. Um, and I think it's very important to realize that just because you don't see it doesn't mean that we don't see it in ourselves. Um, and it's it's aggravating because it's like, because they're like, there's nothing wrong with you. Look at you. And we're like, motherfucker, I've been looking. How do you not see it? And some people will be like, no, we didn't lose Casper. He'll be back. And and people will be like, well, how do you see it? Is that something that y'all have encountered where or how do you guys feel when it comes to looking at yourself, dealing with these invisible illnesses? Do you see it as like the mirror, the cracks in the mirror metaphor, or how do you guys see it? Who wants to go first? Go ahead.
I mean, I guess I can talk a little bit about this because I'm starting to navigate it a lot more in terms of trauma and knowing that I have to be mentally well to start to unpack the trauma and know I can only do a little bit at a time. But there's a temporal aspect of mental health where, for me, I know that trauma literally like changes the structure of the brain and really makes it difficult to revisit that. Um, but I wish more people would understand, and by more people, sorry, I hate the word neurotypical because a lot of people yell at me for using it, but I'm going to use it now. Um, them not understanding that there's a difference in perception, and perception can be physical perception, emotional intelligence, temporal aspects of how you see someone or a group of people, and knowing you can't just pigeonhole everyone to try to understand them. And I think it's really ironic that people who are neurodivergent are even more perceptive or hyper perceptive to a fault of these things, and where race or visually racialized people crosses over with neurodivergence is we have that experience, that adversity, that gaslighting, the constant like in evaluation or invalidation, where we understand that we've gone through the struggle, we continue to go through the struggle, and we continue to use our emotional labor to educate others. But it's exhausting when people don't understand it because they haven't gone through it and they're still not willing to listen to it.
Facts.
Also, yeah, and also I feel like when people haven't confronted it within themselves, right? Like, because the thing is, like, one thing I've realized, like, it's kind of like the waves, right, in the ocean. The waves are always hitting something, right? Whether it's the ocean itself or the land, right, or rocks or whatever, right? Like, it's like that's what trauma is, right? Trauma is like, you know, when you have these two forces like coming at each other, and it's just inevitable in life, right? That we're gonna make impact. Like, I always think about, like, a movie that had a lot of impact on me was a movie called Crash, and there was a quote in the beginning where it was like,
I
sometimes,
loved that
you know,
movie.
that movie. Do you
Yes.
remember the opening line? Like, that opening line stuck with me so much. I wanted to like write it, have it written in my living room.
I'm gonna be so honest. I drank a fucking lot since that movie came out. I do not remember.
I get it. I can't quote it. I can't quote it word for word, but essentially what I got from it was that sometimes we just, like, we move past each other so much that we just want to feel, you know? And we want to feel, we just like, we'll just crash into each other just to feel it, you know? Just to feel contact. And yeah, and I think about that, like that's what trauma is, right? Like, when a person like crashes against another person, it could be a parent, it could be in a relationship, you know, like a friendship, anything, right? Like, trauma happens, right? So, like, and a lot of us are are impacted by things more than we realize, right? So I think if we took the time for ourselves to assess, like, what it is for us, for each of us, not anybody else, just us, then we can find that empathy for other people, because now we've encountered our own trauma. We're facing our own selves, you know?
There we go. My phone's being weird. Yeah. And I think that movie also touches on something else that's very important. Hurt people hurt people. However, that does not give anyone an excuse to be toxic. You don't get to sit there and be like, treat someone like absolute utter shit, or be verbally or physically abusive even, and just be like, oh my god, I'm so bipolar. No,
Real.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't. That's what therapy's for. Go to therapy or work on yourself somehow, but don't regurgitate your toxic shit onto another human being and then try to blame it on something that you may not even have. I've seen a lot of people claim to be OCD, ADHD, bipolar, when, for lack of a better way to put it, they are full of fucking shit. Like, no, you're not. And it's really ableist for you to sit there and try to claim that you have these things when you don't. Because you're stereotyping us, you're dehumanizing us. I have CPTSD. That does not fucking mean that I am going to fly off the handle at any given moment. Yes, and you still have to own your shit, even if it's during a manic episode. You have to learn from it, learn your triggers, when to step away, how to process it, etc. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. You just like it doesn't give us a free pass. I mean, unless you're white and you shoot up something. I said what I said. It doesn't give us a pass when we say that we have mental health issues. It doesn't give you a pass to claim to have mental health issues just when you decide to be a piece of shit. I'm just saying. So, and I just remembered I was starting to talk about it before, but I forgot.
Take your time. This is your podcast. Shoot.
I know. I just remembered I was talking about it before, right before my FBI agent wouldn't let me be fucking great. You are not on my Christmas card list, Kevin. Anyhow,
So
magical cures.
Did Kevin kill Malcolm X?
Kevin killed Malcolm X and JFK. I mean, he obviously worked with Farrakhan to kill Malcolm X, but that's besides the point. Anyhow, so magical cures. What is some dumbass shit y'all have heard to try to cure yourselves? I know Prashana talked a little bit about it. I don't think we got to Sean or Casper yet. Casper, go ahead.
Just be happy. It's clearly not that simple. Especially with some things that happen, like it could be trauma induced. For instance, like with my synesthesia, I realized I had synesthesia around like kindergarten or stuff, or yeah, kindergarten. Yep. But I was, I started experiencing abuse at the age of 5, if I'm not mistaken. And then that's when like these like I started to see like the colors and everything like that. Some of the things that were put on us, I think I heard you guys speak to it earlier, was it took a traumatic event in which probably brought these things out of us. But the definitely the just be happy and just smile. I think because they think of we're smiling on the outside, that we're somehow smiling on the inside. It's a placebo effect, but it's not getting rid of a broken heart, essentially.
So I just have to ask for clarification because I am unaware. I don't have synesthesia. Is that a mental illness?
No, but when we were, because like we were talking about synesthesia earlier, but like,
no, you're good.
No, I was drawing out. No, it's not a. Please be careful, the weirdo white people in the comment section. But I was saying when you guys were speaking about it earlier, when we were talking about bipolar disorder and all these other things, PTSD, something had to take place where certain, I would say additions, whether they're negative or positive, however you want to look at it, they can be added on to you because of a traumatic event. And then people think that just because it was added onto us late, that we can somehow take it off somehow, like it's an accessory off of what'd she say? AJ, we love you though. It's okay. Like you're one of the good ones.
Baby, how many times I gotta tell you, you happen to be white. You happen to be white. You are not a part of the cauliflower pigeons coalition. Okay? We accept you. Anyhow.
I'm adding that to my list.
I have a whole list. I will have to send it to you. It's bad. Casper does not like me for my list sometimes.
Because you always do it like when I'm trying to be a good person, and then don't like being petty, but I'm really good at it. So
you
like,
lead with love. I do not. I do not lead with love. And anybody in the comments that knows me knows this. Tapioca trolls. Oh yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm distracted. That is amazing, and I'm adding it to
Thank you, Adam.
What about you, Sean? What are some magical cures that were just, what are some of the most outrageous magical cures that you've ever heard?
I feel like I'm going to piss someone or a group of people off when I say this, but I'm just going to say this is my experience.
Please do it.
Okay. So I grew up in an extremely Catholic, religious, like white family. And I've been seeing a pattern where people who happen to be right-leaning, who happen to be a member of the church, they refute the fact that as humans, over time, we can, again, this is not everyone. I hate that I'm saying that, but it is a lot of people, that you can just go to church. Like, go to church, go talk to God. He'll fix it for you. But that's not the case, especially when you are a Black person in a majority white population who already disregards you as a human being to begin with.
I'm sorry. Stop. Can you rewind just a little bit? Hit play and amplify that into a fucking megaphone so everybody in the back can hear. Can you say that one more time? One more time,
Yep.
sir.
Jesus can't solve trauma if you're praying to Sky Daddy. Sorry, I'm not going to apologize. No more apologizing. If you're praying to Sky Daddy to heal your physical ailments and your disabilities and your neurodivergencies, because even though there's a community within the church, which can be beautiful, at the same time, it can be extremely toxic, especially to people who are within the racial minority who physically exist as a minority within a white church. It's extremely toxic. And I can't even begin to understand what it's like for anti-LGBTQ rhetoric within the Black church, because I've been to a few services and I was like, wow, like I already feel invalidated for my sexuality just for existing in this space.
So for me, I've heard a lot, your little friend. That's your little friend. You could be getting married and they'd be at your wedding reception cutting the damn cake. And they'd be like, oh, look at her and her little friend. It's weird. Don't do that. Don't do that. My grandma was famous for that, actually. I'm like, Grandma, stop it. But yeah, stop thinking that God is gonna take care of everything without you doing the damn work yourself as well. Even and I also grew up in the Catholic religion. Fuck that shit. I'm gonna say this. Even Jesus had to walk through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. He had to work, so you should too. Anyhow, I think for me the most like outlandish one was me saying I have CPTSD, and they suggested that my night terrors will stop if I stop eating meat. Meat. Yes. First of all, I know y'all can only see this half of me, but I love food. Okay.
It loves you back, girl. It loves you back,
It
girl.
does. It does, because it be hugging my stomach. Real stubborn like. But meat is not going to fix my trauma. That's stupid as fuck. Stop it. Stop it. What does it say? A lot of people suggest we forgive the person who caused our trauma. Yes. And that is another, that is a whole nother beast. I think it definitely needs to be talked about. On a day that we focus more on solely on PTSD and trauma and stuff like that. I definitely agree with you there, though. Culinary nerd. It is very common. Yeah, there is always that one person that says it's diet. Like, why?
But can we actually talk about who that person is? Because I've been seeing a pattern, especially on TikTok, for those health coaches.
Oh,
It
yeah,
always
go
fits
ahead.
a certain demographic, and it invalidates people who are in any minority who don't have the availability to these resources in any capacity. So I'm gonna ask you a question, and it's probably gonna be an easy answer. Is this person who is highly believed, no matter what they say, are they more likely to be racialized or white? And are they more likely to be non-binary, a woman or a man?
They are usually a white woman descending from the Mounts of Caucasus, who thinks that minorities are going to come in from the inner city and ravish her. Just saying. And usually probably has some form of Jesus bumper sticker. on
And the
her
white savior complex.
minivan while she's at home popping Xanax and drinking fucking bottles of wine before dinner time.
This is not a safe space for them. You went after them.
It's really not. They think I'm nice. I don't know why. By the way, soccer moms, stop taking your kids' medication. Yes, Sean, I said it. I can see your face. I said it.
So many stories.
Said what
On
I
top
said.
of that, stop asking your neurodivergent friends for their medication. They actually need it. Maybe they'll forget to have it one day, but no, stop it. One, it's illegal. Two, you're not cool if you're taking Adderall to stay up all night to study for an exam that you neglected to study for out of your own negligence. And three, that shows that you do not respect your friend and their boundaries in healing themselves and coping with their mental health.
Also, I wanted to add something to Casper, what you were saying as far as the folks who say just smile, like they that might be a point of self-reflection for them, right? Because maybe they might be dealing with some suppression, and like maybe that was their trauma response, you know what I mean? And one person's trauma response isn't like a one size fit all. And I think maybe that's what goes on with these Karens out here. You know what I mean? Is that, well, this is what worked for me. And so this is just the one size for this. This is what it is for everybody. You know what I mean? It's like, well, no, it doesn't work like that. So I'm like real big with my students on speak for your experience. You can speak on what worked for you. If cutting me out reduced your night terrors, then speak on that. Speak on that, you know? But like I had a friend that taught me that she tries to stay away from shoulds. You shouldn't do this, or you should do this. It's like, well, this is what worked for me, and that's it. That's it. You can only speak for your experience,
Oh,
I think
yeah,
another
for
thing
sure. I feel like the only thing we should do is strive to be healthy.
Real.
Whether that be mentally or physically or spiritually or religiously for some people.
Yeah.
I tell my friends this a lot, especially when I'm like visibly annoyed. And I think Casper can attest to this. I ain't got to do shit but be black and die. All right. Don't tell me what I should and should not do. Yeah, and I think it's also the delivery that means something. I'm reading the comments here and I'm hearing what y'all are saying. It's a delivery too. Like you can say like, okay, so what worked for me is this. But if you have literally no experience, please don't say, well, my grandma's mammy's cousin did this. And I mean, it fixed everything. First of all, no, the fuck it didn't.
Yeah, you don't know what that is. Yeah.
Because there's no fix all end all.
It's the diagnosing suggestions for me that I don't unconsented diagnoses and suggestions for me. You end up, and not even that, you think that these people haven't even tried those options, which is what is going on in Sean's screen. It looks like we're playing 007 right now.
I think Sean is taking Luna out.
Oh, and he's out and he's back. Okay, anyway, go back to you, Jess.
But I'll stay on here.
Somebody's talking. What'd you say, Sean?
Oh, can you?
Oh,
but okay. Luna needs to go pee.
The doggy needs to go pee pee.
Yeah. I hope I'm saying your name right, Rain. I am ready to see some Luna too. I mean, it's not a panel with Sean on if we don't get to see Luna at some point. But yeah. So
true.
With all these magical cures walking around, running around, and everybody has an opinion on your life, even though they don't live it. What is something that does work for y'all? What is something that you find cathartic or relaxing? Or I know Sean, in one of his videos, was talking about helping him stay on task. What's something that works for y'all? How about you, Casper?
Oh no, she unmuted herself. Go
Oh,
ahead,
I see
Queen.
it now. Okay, go ahead,
Uh,
Patrana.
no, it's good. I was just gonna say non-judgmental listening really helps. You know, like where you're not listening to give me advice, you're listening to listen, you know, and of course I I want to hear perspective, you know, I do, you know, but with just without the judgment, you know, and blessedly I think I've drawn friends that do that on, you know, um on the most part, and it's just, yeah, that's really helpful. And I think on the other end, um for the previous question was, a friend of mine let me know that toxic positivity is a thing, right? And
Yup.
yeah, and
I'm
that's
sorry,
something.
can you repeat that?
Yeah, toxic positivity is a thing, right?
Can
So
you explain what toxic positivity is? Because I don't think a lot of people have heard that term.
yeah, actually he gave me a really great infographic for it. I'm gonna open it and read it. But it says toxic positivity is, let me see, open it. Here we go. So toxic positivity is being negative. Like here's some quotes that might come up that sound like toxic positivity. So being negative won't help you. Good vibes only, and the not right time to say that. You'll get over it. Other people have it a lot worse. Crying won't help. Just stay positive. And then on the reverse, genuine optimism says it's important to let it out. Is there anything I can do to make this easier for you? I love you through all your emotional states. You are so resilient, and your strength will get you through it. That's a little borderline, but you are not alone, and there's support to help you. That can be borderline too, because it's like, well, I'm talking to you, bitch. But it's okay to cry. We all do. Can I get you a tissue or a hug? That's helpful for me to hear. Um, Things are tough right now. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to do something lighthearted, something that will get your mind off it? I think that one's helpful for me because yeah, it's not just like brushing it off. It's not, it's allowing me to be in the moment. I remember when I was going through stuff. Yeah, for sure, for sure. One time I was going through stuff. I was a lot younger. I had a family member that took her life, and it really impacted me, And I remember folks saying like, "Yeah, we just want to see the old persona back," you know. And that was interesting because it was like, but I'm not. She's not here right now because my family member just died. you know, and so if it felt like it came from kind of like a selfish place, like you want
Yeah,
to see her back, but that's not where I'm at right now, you know? And
yeah, and
so yeah.
yeah, and I think that when people will say things like, "I want the old Prashana back," I miss the old Jessica. First of all, the old Jessica was masking. I just refuse to mask I just refuse to mask.
Mm,
Um, or that's not like, I'm sorry, but old Prashana is dead because something so pivotal happened in her life that's not fundamentally who she is anymore. Um, Stop expecting us to be able to just hit the rewind button and go back to the way we were.
Yeah.
As far as you're concerned, we may have never actually always been that way. It's toxic as shit. We're fine the way we are. Jesus.
How do
Can I
you
see some
can,
Luna?
can I
Hi,
ask
Luna.
Hi Luna. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
How do you guys feel with well, I guess I'll preface it with this. I know for me, when I talk about something that, that I'm going through, it does help to be listened to. And I do appreciate it when they, humbly offer me some potential solutions, right? As opposed to just listening. Because I've been in a situation where I'm, it's, they're listening, but I'm not getting anything from it. Like, it's like, okay, well, now I feel drained and I have nothing. So how do you guys feel if somebody tries to help you think of solutions to when you're stuck in something?
So for me personally, I have a couple friends where um we're kind of sounding boards for each other, because for me, I'll get triggered and maybe not even realize it, and then I'll be highly irritable, and like something will just piss me off to high heaven, and I'll like want to tell someone to shut the fuck up. But before I do that, I will ask one of these friends, and it has to be people that I know are not just going to agree with me for the sake of agreeing with me. I'll ask them, and they'll tell me, like, dude, you're kind of doing a little too much right now. I'm like, oh, that sucks. All right, I'll block that person for now. Like, because obviously, like, if you're getting me to that point, if you've triggered me, I can't have a fruitful productive conversation with you right now. So I'm going to take a step back, instead of snapping on you and hurting your feelings. I heard that's frowned upon. So I love it. Like when I'm able to ask people questions, and when they ask me questions, and I can have this conversation where there's constructive criticism, or there's just that honesty, and that emotional equity to where they care enough to give me suggestions or correct my behavior. I don't want yes people in my life. I don't, because I will never be a yes person. That's just me personally. Sean, Casper, what do y'all think about Prashana's question?
Definitely. I agree with literally everything. And I was like, my mind went on a tangent at an ADHD moment. So I was thinking of like, what is acceptable to say in those situations? And I'm just going to like talk about my personal understanding and experience and perspective. But I think it does take a lot of energy to either be the person who is sitting down listening, which is such a powerful tool, and be the person who knows that they're being listened to, and the awareness of the energy exchange and knowing that this is taxing if they're truly doing it. But I feel like those conversations are truly meaningful when you know you can trust that person and you've built a relationship with them, because it's rare to find that one person that you automatically vibe with. You can have that discussion, but it can turn into trauma bonding really quickly. But if you really trust that person over a long period of time, it's good to trust your gut and let them in, if you know you're really going through something, because I don't think I tell these two people enough. I'm not going to name drop them, or I guess name lift them, because I know one person's here, but my RSD is telling me to clarify this. The people that have been texting me every single day telling me to take my medication, to drink my water, to take Luna on a walk, to self-care, that feeds into my self-regulation so much, and I don't know how to say how thankful I am for those two individuals. It reinforces the fact that I am loved, wanted, accepted, heard, and respected. And at the same time, I'm going to give a trigger warning. This is not for me. This is for my residents when I was an RA. I'm going to be talking about suicide and suicide ideation. But being trained to recognize that, and having a psychologist come in and saying exactly what you should say, or kind of navigate the discussion when someone's having a mental health crisis, and telling us, it's hard to tell. Every discussion has to be organic, but knowing what to ask at certain times. But the most powerful tool is when you get to the end of the conversation, asking, what can I do to help you in this moment? Do you have any questions for me? How can I help you? Also, the powerful tool of giving people options to choose from gives them that doorway back into having control over the situation. Very small aspects that people overlook, such as pointing your knees to the person while you're talking to them, these subtle gestures showing that you're really listening, and doing that. It might feel weird at first, but like when it comes naturally, then people read that subconsciously as like, yes, they're listening to me. And it means it means a lot, truly. Being someone who's stopped several ideations when people had plans, walking in on a resident who was about to do something that they would have regretted, and the amount of energy it takes. It's shocking, but at the same time, it made me realize we don't humanize people enough, and we're not ready to see them as nuanced beings. We are quick to paint the picture of a fractured, imperfect human, when in reality, the people who paint the picture of, oh, I'm perfect, they're quick to project their higher being, or like their significance or their superiority onto another person. And that's when it's more difficult to navigate the conversation, because when you can recognize, oh, you're projecting onto my own mental illness or like my adversities, and you can see that they're really suffering, making the decision if you, who is not in the spot to listen to them, if you should, or if you should point them to different resources. It's so difficult to have those conversations.
I just want to real quick, I want to give you your flowers real quick, Sean. Because if you look at these comments, I am crying at the thought that there are people in Sean's life who are doing that for him. I'm lucky to know these people through his fandom. I can happily say that I found those relationships Sean's describing within his own fan base. Sean, hold on. Can we bring Sean up on screen for a second?
Flowers.
Baby, you have made such a huge impact on all these lives. Such a huge impact, because you have been honest about your own experience, and through that you have fostered these friendships with people from your content and your lives. And I just want to say that is one of the reasons why I love you, because you are such a good soul, and your content is so enriched and so wholesome. And I just wanted to say I love you, because everybody's giving you your flowers in the comments. I felt like I had to real quick.
You cry.
I mean, it's okay. We do not subscribe to toxic masculinity around here. If you need to cry, boo, go right ahead. And my brain just took a shit again.
I feel that so hard.
I'm sick of it. I'm fucking sick of it. Anyhow, Casper, what about you? Do you want to answer Prashana's question real quick?
Could Queen Prashana please restate her question, because it's been quite some time. I thought I was either gonna have to answer your question or her question. So could you ask the question again real quick for me, please?
Yeah, I was just asking, is it helpful for you when someone you're talking to about something you're going through offers any solutions? Like if you're open to if you're open to it.
I think that depends on a certain level of intimacy that you establish with said person. That's the first thing I usually examine. It's, for me personally, it's really hard to trust people. So depending on what, I would say how much relational equity that we've established, then I'm probably more likely to hear it. But it's also, I have to gauge whether they're giving me this advice because they either want to help me through it, or are they giving me this advice to I would say relieve them from this inconvenience of dealing with me while dealing with whatever I'm dealing with. So it varies, because sometimes I think what I realized with when we're talking to people that have like mental illnesses, and we all kind of do it from time to time, is that we hate seeing our loved ones feel that way, or people in general feel that way. So we're like, I want you to stop feeling that way for me, opposed to I want to help you get through what you're going through. So it's a toss up. It's definitely a toss up, depending on who the person is, where they're coming from, the intent they're saying these things, the impact it might potentially have on me, and then depending on whether or not I'm going to choose to digest it. So hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah, I think for me questions help too. Like and I try to think of it like I try to do it too, right? So when someone is coming to me, like the same things that I would want, that I try to keep that in mind, of course, like when in listening to them. So like the non-judgmental listening, because it's like, bitch, you've been there. Like you've been right there too, you know? Um and like asking questions like, you know, like things to think about, like, you know, like, oh, could we do this, could you know. And for me, I really like the pronoun we too, because it shows me that they like really care, you know. They're like, okay, can we talk to this person, can we, you know, like yeah. So well, so let me, I guess, Casper, then how what about that, like the asking of questions
Uh, hmm.
to derive at a potential resolution or something that might help.
I don't. It varies, because sometimes I don't even like people to see me when I get in that way. So a coping mechanism I tend to do is isolate. Jess knows this about me. Sometimes when life gets a little overwhelming, I go control alt delete myself from any space I'm usually in. And so sometimes when people are trying to like swarm in and help me and everything like that, and you know, reaffirm me and assure me and everything like that, it can come off as overwhelming. So for me personally, once I'm in a place to receive it, I'm probably more likely to want to hear it. But I have to also consent to it too, because I'm probably not going to be able to hear you properly when you're trying to say these things to me. So if I'm not in a position to, well, I can't even say hear properly, because hearing is involuntary, listening is a choice. If I'm not in a place of willingness to listen, then I'm probably not even going to give you that floor or that microphone, just because I want what you say to me to be valuable and to be taken in. And I want what I say to you to be valuable and taken in as well.
And actually, someone brought it up in the comments, and it made me think of something that we've talked about before, you and I, Casper. But I don't think that makes people very. I don't think a lot of people are very aware of this. You should ask for consent before venting to a person.
You want me to
Real.
expand
Do
on
you want to
that?
go ahead and explain that?
So I had a situation where I had a friend, known them for years. We were just hanging out and everything like that. And they said something in just venting and stuff like that, because I've kind of positioned myself in a lot of people that I have divinity with, as far as like a relationship with. They make me their soundboard in a lot of ways. But sometimes, me and Sean were talking about interfaces before we got started. Sometimes you shouldn't let everybody plug in. You can't, because sometimes people will plug something into you and speak something into you that you not ready, or it's not configured, or if it was configured, you're not ready to even process it. So what they were venting in my space, in my atmosphere, oh hell, in my car, is this was actually happening. It triggered me, and for me, I had to, I said a thing that, though it was just one person, I wanted it to make it a universal thing that everybody I have a relationship with, that I want to help you, but because of the multitude of trauma and the paradox behind it, I need to know the nature of this conversation that we're about to have, because I don't want, better yet, I don't want to dive in the pool to try to save you from drowning, and I end up with water in my lungs in the process. So I think that's super, super important. Consenting to venting, because you gotta make sure that what you're pouring into somebody, they're able to handle it. And that's a respect thing to you, yourself, and them, because you want them to give you the best advice that they can give you. But you also don't want to end up traumatizing somebody that's not mentally, emotionally, spiritually equipped to handle what you got. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody is good for your good, bad, ugly, and indifferent. Hopefully that was good for you, Jess.
Yeah. I think you explained it perfectly. Because like, people will come to you expecting to be able to pour something into you, because they've always done that, and they don't know if you've got holes in your bucket at that point. They don't know if that whatever they're pouring into you is going to be corrosive and going to make you rust. So asking for consent, just like you would anything else, for physical touch, for sexual entanglements. I don't fucking know. For anything, ask consent, because going into someone's mind, like dumping what's in your mind onto someone else, that is also a very private thing. It's a very invasive thing. So you should definitely ask for consent, like you would with anything else. And yeah, Black Girl Warrior, not everyone deserves your energy. Sean, Prashana, I don't know if you were practicing that sort of thing before, but what do you guys think about the asking for consent?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been trying to work on what texting a friend and be like, hey, do you have a moment? If like if I need to kind of talk about something. And the reason I realized that that works is because I found myself, especially in this pandemic, like just having a lot of time to myself, that when somebody just kind of calls out the blue, and I'm like in between stuff, and it's like, and then sometimes I'll call back to back, and it's like, bro, because I'm like either tutoring or I'm doing something, and it's like, or I just might need just a mental space. So I realize it really helps me when they text me, be like, yo, do you have a second, or do you have some time this week? That really helped me. And so realizing that helped me, I started to do the same. So it's like, okay, so don't be selfish, right? So if you like that, then you got to be able to do the same. So yeah, like lately, I think throughout the year, I haven't really like needed to talk too much to like others, 'cause I had a partner, and I think right now, because it's kind of a transitional time, so it's like, so I'm feeling that neediness, like I need to talk to somebody, but I still have to respect people's boundaries, because boundaries are everything.
Definitely. I agree. Boundaries, clear, healthy boundaries. Let's say it again. Say it with me, all. Healthy boundaries are important. We don't do that toxic shit around here. Not no more. If you're watching, stop it. Work on stopping it. I know it's not flicking a switch, but stop it. Sean, what do you think about, yes, ready, set, don't try me. I got a lot of boundaries. Sean, what do you think about asking for consent? Is that something that you've been practicing for a while? Is this new to you and you plan on practicing it? What you got?
So it is not new to me, but I want to give credit where credit is due. I don't know if you know Tyra Blizzard or T Blizzy on TikTok, but her and I have grown very close, and I want to make sure that I'm not disclosing anything in terms of like what we privately text each other. But she really taught me how to establish a system of asking for consent, because at the same time we were having the thought of like, so we're texting each other about like certain things that could be traumatizing, and we were there for each other. Um, and we were on the same wavelength, and I was like, we should probably establish something. So our system like consists of emojis that are like warning signs, like, hey, read this when you're able to. And we both respect that. And when we were starting to do this, sometimes we would slip up, make a mistake, and send something to the other person saying like, hey, I'm dealing with this person right now, i.e. her. Um, that's all I can say, because I don't want to get a cease and desist talking about that narcissist. But Tyra was always there for me. And I do everything to be there for her, to give that same energy, attention, and respect and humanization back. And I feel like a system is different for everyone. Respecting boundaries is important, but also giving credit where credit is due when someone upholds that. Because we were discovering how to create the system at the same time, and we developed it. And it's going to be different for everyone, but it really taught me how to really respect another person's boundaries emotionally, but also respect your own. Because sometimes, as someone who deals with rejection sensitive dysphoria, a lot of people, well, I guess one person preyed on that in the past, where I'm really quick to like be there for people when I shouldn't be. And sometimes there were some texts where I absolutely could not read because they were absolutely traumatizing and abusive from this person who shall not be named. And I said, hey, here's the emojis. You don't have to read it until you're ready, but I can't read the text right now. Can you read it for me and tell me if I should read it or not? And to have someone there for you and to do the same is just absolutely amazing. It's difficult, but it's really important to like establish a system with the person you're talking to. And it's not going to be the same for everyone. Like sometimes people just need space, and it'll look like they're ignoring your text, but really like they absolutely can't touch their phone right now.
Yeah, and so for me personally, I have a Captain Save-A-Ho complex. If someone's in trouble, if someone needs to vent, I am there no matter what I'm dealing with. And that's something that I am learning. I need to start turning my phone on silent. I need to stop worrying about people who have essentially bled on me because they were hurt. And thinking that so I need to stop giving them second chances. Because if you aren't taking care of yourself, and you aren't and you're essentially bleeding on me and making me bleed, I shouldn't be, you know, leaving you in the favorite section of my phone, to put it bluntly. And that's something I'm working on every day. I need to start recognizing when I'm not mentally fit for other people to unload on me. I'm getting better at it. Kind of. I kind of just leave. But at least I'm not forcing myself to be there. Baby steps, right? But I'm trying. You know what, Rain? That's a very good point. You are never required to set yourself on fire to keep another person warm. And I guess that's something I've been doing my whole life. So it's a habit that's very difficult to break. But they say it takes 30 days to break a habit. So y'all in the comments, hold me accountable. in 30 days, ask me if I'm still doing this fuck shit. And if I am, y'all can go ahead and get on my ass. But yeah, so what is something for someone who is really struggling right now with the mental health issues that they have going on in their life? What is something that you wish someone had told you? What would you say to a younger Prashana who had just started experiencing these anger issues, or a younger Sean who had just started experiencing the hyperfixation, or or a younger Casper who had just started experiencing manic episodes? What is something that you wish someone had said to you that you think is really important that someone needs to hear tonight? Okay, go ahead, Sean.
Oh, I would say there are a lot of lessons that have been taught to me and that I've absorbed through experience and over a long period of time. There are a lot of sayings and mantras that I keep, but I know I talked about this on my TikTok, but the first thing I learned was we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. We should be listening twice as much as we speak, but sometimes we kind of need a third ear because we're not all perfect and we feel like we're listening more than we're speaking. But there's a difference between hearing someone and listening to someone, which is what Casper said earlier. Another thing is hold on to your inner child and I'm not going to say let yourself, but like, and it's hard to say like don't let people affect that, but maybe be cognizant of how people's rejection of your own behaviors, either if they're neurodivergent or if you have synesthesia. Because like when you tell someone who's neurotypical, like I see colors in my mind's eye when I listen to music, they're either going to reject that or exploit you or tokenize you. And it's such a visceral rejection response that could be ingrained with the trauma, which kind of pushes away your ability to see the world in such a beautiful way. So hold on to your inner child, listen, and respect yourself. And one thing I really learned after being an RA for 3.5 years was being there for other people as an excuse or as a replacement to be there for yourself, or to feed into that saying, I'm doing good for other people, therefore I'm good myself, is not adequate at all. And you need to be taking time for yourself. Yes, it's great if you heal other people and you're there for them, but it's a give and take relationship, even if it's symbiotic. You really need to listen to yourself, because bad habits can exist from that when you're giving too much of yourself, like self-medicating or dissociating.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm thinking probably it's okay to feel. Create your own haven. And it's okay to feel. You don't have to control. Like, you don't have to control the moment, because I feel like a lot of the times that I've gotten depressed is when I just like lost, I felt like I lost control of the, you know what I mean? It's like, it's okay. You don't have to. That's something I've really been working on. It's like, it's all right. Let it be. Because I think because I grew up with that, like not knowing what was going to happen, whether you're someone's best friend or enemy, every day, that it's just like it starts to feed this need for like controlling the moment, controlling how you're perceived or whatever it is. It's like just not necessarily how you're perceived, but just making it make sense. That's like a big thing for me. It's gotta make sense. It's like it's okay for it to not, just let let people be and move on in your own direction kind of thing is something I'm working on. So yeah, that's what I would say. Tell my inner child.
Casper?
I think for me, it would have to be This is a hard question. Why'd you ask this question?
You know how I am.
Yeah, I don't like it. So
You're
I
right.
think for
Love
me,
it. Anyhow.
gotcha. So I think for me, it would have to be, I know you don't understand, and I don't understand either, but I'm willing to learn with you. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for me.
So for me, you are not your pain. You're in pain. Um, and it is okay to be vulnerable. Not everyone is going to hurt you. Not everyone has nefarious intent. It's okay to have a safe space. And I think the most important thing that people need to hear is, I see you. I see all of you, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I see you. And it's okay. But yeah, that would be mine. I wish somebody would have told me that. So this was a very heavy conversation. See, everybody in the comments feels their baby hair is getting tugged at. Never in their life have they felt so seen and attacked at the same damn time. If y'all have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. While we are waiting for that, I just want to do a real quick mental health check-in because this was such a heavy conversation. On a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being I'm not okay, and 10 being I'm feeling abso-fucking-lutely fantastic. Where are y'all at? Prashana, Sean, Casper, how y'all feeling after that conversation? It was heavy.
After the conversation, I think I think I just have some like inner things that I have to still, I'm like working through right now. So it's not because of the conversation, but just in general, I'm at like about a 4, you know? Yeah. But the like conversations like this are super helpful to remind myself that we're all in our boats trying to navigate our oceans, So it's helpful to know, like when you guys said your numbers in the beginning, that was important for me to hear too, that we're all trying to navigate.
I appreciate that. So what do you think you need? You need either to do or to help you to bring that number higher. It not necessarily at a 10, but bring you up. What do you think will help?
For me?
Yeah.
I think I just need some self-reflection, Yeah, just more vitamin D. Spending some more time with the sun and the trees really, really helps me. So I told myself, because I just been kind of depressed like the last little bit. So I was like not getting really any sunlight, you know. So I was like, nah, I got to do this, you know. And the more research I've been doing about health, and it's like vitamin D, vitamin D. It's like you're right, you're right, you're right. Let me get out. So it's like that moment in the Matrix where Trinity was like, "Get up, Trinity, get up." You know, like can't nobody else tell you it. You got it. It's when you do. So yeah, and this kiwi really helped. So like maybe some more fruit and water and vitamin D and sunlight and self-reflection time. You know, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully everyone on this panel is melanated, so get your vitamin D, and thank fuck you won't burn or age like chewed up shoe leather. Um, I said it, Sean. I said it. um, Sean, Casper, how are you guys doing after this conversation? Casper, how you doing after this conversation, bro?
Oh my gosh. We're being honest. We're being honest here.
We are being 100% honest.
Okay. Well, honestly, as if I wasn't being honest before. I'm at a 3, I would say, even though I started at a 4, oddly. I think just because, as Queen Prashana said, there's some things that there's a couple of other rocks I gotta turn over, I would say. Mentally, emotionally, within my heart, within my mind, and everything like that. But yeah, I would say out of 3, just because sometimes conversations like this, it's like, oh yeah, that too. Oh yeah, you forgot you forgot to take the forks out the dishwasher. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's some other things I'm gonna have to tend to, I would say.
Yeah, I can understand that. So and is that your answer for getting your number higher, is to tend to those things that you had forgotten or been pushing off?
So So I think I want to like kind of circle back a little bit, and it's going back to like what we were saying to like our inner selves, our inner child. And I think for me is stop being so frustrated with yourself. Um we advance and grow daily. You know what I'm saying? We advance and grow daily as people. We're like that. We're not like iPhones where there's a ghost of Steve Jobs that just throws out the old model when a new one's coming out. Like this is us. You know what I'm saying? We update daily. And I think for me, it's being okay with the updates and be okay with learning with these updates and not getting frustrated with myself for not understanding the updates. Me personally, with having bipolar disorder, because every day I'm a different Casper. I've kind of noticed encounter, conversation to conversation. So I think just being patient and kind to myself, I think that'll help me get my number a little higher.
And I think that's important for people to remember. Um, Rome wasn't built in a day. You, whether you got your, whether you inherited your mental illness or it was something that traumatic events caused, or however it was acquired, um, it didn't all happen in a day to get you to where you are today. It's going to take more than a day to unlearn those things that you've encountered. It's it's going to take more than a day for you to learn about yourself. Sean, how you feeling, boo?
Um, so now everyone's being truthful. So I'm going to be like very transparent, which is one of the things I really value. But then I want to elaborate. So I'm about at a, okay, it's hard to quantify emotional um, well-being for me, because I view it in a different complex light. But I relatively to what I felt before starting this conversation, I've been knocked down. There's been a dip down a few notches. However, I feel that it was necessary. And the best part about having these deep conversations and sharing this time and listening is knowing the fact that when you have these meaningful conversations that really influence not only yourself but others, it's going to push you into a different realm of emotional well-being, and that gives you the chance to work on, if you've been in that stance in the past, all of those constructs around you that were ruining your mental health, you get to work on those. They're in your visible plane of view. But also knowing that progress is not linear in terms of mental health. Some days it's going to go down. However, with emotional intelligence and integrity and self-love and self-care, even if you're going down in the notch, progress is always going up because you're more self-aware at that point, which gives you the ability to bounce back metaphorically.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The really counterintuitive prospect, which is progress is not linear. However, progress is extremely nuanced, and even if like a horrible event pushes you down to your lowest low, it won't always have to be like that. And even though it's going down, you're gaining insight, so you're always progressing in a different sense or a different denotation of what progress is. We like to think that progress is good mental health because we don't like to see people suffering or going through it because our culture rejects it, because we stigmatize it. But when you let people go through that and you're there for them, even though they're going down, they're actually going up, which helps them rebound and become their best self.
Yeah. You actually have a question, Sean.
Ooh.
From Anne. I hope you know that you have helped so many people with your genuine transparency. My question is this: does knowing this affect you in a good way, bad way, or combination of both?
So just knowing that I've influenced so many people affect me in a negative, positive, or both? If anything, it's helped me realize that it's because of the adversity I've had to face in others, I'm able to build connections and work against the social stigmatization of mental health. Because no one likes to see someone crying on camera unless it's a white woman. Let's be honest. And if it's a white woman, only white people want to see that, not black people, because we understand what crocodile teeth are.
Tulsa. Okay, sorry.
But really though, like, even though if it has a tax or toll on my mental health at that time, I understand there's a temporal aspect, and it makes me so freaking appreciative, happy, also sad, but in a good sense, because I know I've collaborated and been mutually beneficial with others. It's not just me. I feel like I always say I share my platform because I like to give other people a voice because I have such a massive following, which is why I'm so iffy. Like, I'm a big TikToker. No, I don't see myself like that. I don't think I've actually accepted the fact that I've helped so many people, but I realize I'm progressing slowly. Like, I'm 23, and people are like, "You're so smart because you had trauma."
No, you're
I'm
not.
doing the work. I'm doing the
What
work.
the hell?
Yeah, I'm
Hold
23.
on.
No,
Can I
you're
say?
not.
Jess, I gotta say it. You know what I'm gonna say. Look. Drink your water. Mind your business. You understand me? Like, look at this man. Look at this man. Look at this beautiful. Look at him. Look at him. I bet he doesn't even hear himself when he walk around. He don't crack or nothing. My goodness. Go ahead.
Don't say that. Don't come from me because I crack everywhere, bro.
My bad. My bad.
You're good.
Lost myself.
Wait, how old is everyone? I just have a question. Sorry. How old is everyone on the panel?
I'm 27.
I'm 31.
Prashant about to have you shook.
I'm 38.
I
What's
want
the
to see the
actual
birth
fuck?
certificate.
Yeah, we
Me
need proof.
too.
We need your
Where
driver's
is that
license, the
thing?
social security number. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Provide
Rude.
it.
It is rude. I'm
Oh.
31 and I look like I could be your big sister. It's fucking rude, Prashana. I'm done.
It says I would not have guessed no 31. I'm
Damn.
like easy 20s. She lied.
She lied.
Drink your water and mind your damn business.
Drink your water and mind your business. There we go.
I
My goodness.
cannot. Yes, let's see the birth certificate. Birth certificate.
We need the
Gotcha.
receipt.
Gotcha. I'm gonna look for the joint. I got you.
For me personally, I am still at a 3. I in my journey, I have actually kind of become a little desensitized to having difficult conversations. So it hasn't actually, let me say this. Let me stop fucking lying. It's not your safe zone. I've gotten very good at waiting to let things affect me until nobody's looking.
Mm.
So I'll probably drop down a little bit after, after I get off the Zoom, unless I fall asleep on it again. But for now, I'm still at a 3. We'll see how I'm doing tomorrow, because I know this was emotionally exhausting.
Jess, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
How is it, because you expressed being a mother, you said a single parent?
Yep, single mom of 3 kids.
Ooh, so how is that? Do you how much time do you have for your own personal mental health?
I'm sorry, you said time. So I have been
3:00 in the morning, buddy. Right here.
Yeah. So I do this awesome thing where I stay up late as fuck. Because I don't really have that time when my kids are awake. Sometimes my kids do help my mental health. If I'm having a terrible day, I pile them all in my bed and we'll have a movie night. And I'll regret it 5 minutes later because I don't like physical touch and they'll all be cuddling me. But we'll joke around and play around, or we'll have music nights. And I know any parent in the comment section is probably going to be like, what the fuck? But we have music nights where we literally get up and dance on the furniture and jump
That's
around.
dope.
And it's a let loose kind of thing. Because I like to kind of let my kids know that it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to not be so serious all the time.
Yeah.
I was never really allowed to feel any emotion other than anger, and I
Mm.
don't want that for my kids.
Yeah.
So guess what? We're throwing on Panic at the Disco. And we are jumping across the couches going, hey, look, Mom, I made it. Like, yeah, I do that. Question. Have any of you struggled with feeling you can't trust yourself? And do you have any tips for starting to work through that feeling? Also, hey, Sean, it's Sarah. Ha! Yes. For me, yes. Especially, I'm a recovering alcoholic and drug addict. I have not trusted myself in my life more than I have trusted myself. However, I've gotten to this point where I think a big part is identifying your triggers. Identify them. So that way, A, you can avoid them, or B, if you come into contact with them, you can set up a plan in place. And I find it easier to trust myself when I have a plan as to how to handle my triggers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. And also, it's very important to have a village. have a community, have a village. It doesn't have to be people that are close to you. My community lives all over the United States and Canada. So, I mean, but just have someone where you can just be, oh, congratulations, Adam. Um, have someone that you can text at 3 o'clock in the morning. Casper's been that person lately for me. And just be like, yo, even if you don't talk about what's going on, just not feeling alone. That's helped me a lot personally. What about y'all? Have you ever had a season where you felt like you couldn't trust yourself?
I think I definitely agree with what you said with the triggers, like understanding what your triggers are. I've been working this year on in my science class. I teach science, like decolonizing science for a class, and we've been working on the Science of Me program, where it's like we just have a day where we just focus on our science, right? Because the most demystified definition that I found of science is knowledge gained by observing patterns and finding the reasons behind them, right? Asking why they exist or how. So, if science is about observing patterns, what I tell them is the most important science that we could ever learn is knowledge of self, right? So we just have a day where we just reflect on our patterns. So if the day is, what are the foods that make us happy? What are what are our healthy patterns versus our unhealthy patterns? What are our favorite anythings? Just to have a day where we're constantly exploring ourselves. Because I've found that any relationship that I've been in life, I've learned a lot about the other person, and I've learned a lot about myself. So if we can have that space to really build that, so that when we go into these relationships, we're more self-aware. Oh, I got you, Anne. I got you. Yeah, it's been dope, and even exploring different things like breathing techniques and yoga. I've been exploring yoga. The way that I learned yoga before is that you got to do it this way. And I just got these yoga cards off Amazon, and I just pull one out the deck, like a tarot card, just pull it out. All right, let me try this one. Where do I feel it? And then I'll Google it to see. And it's oh yeah, I did feel that one there. And so I'll do that with one of my students, and it's just cool to have this chill space to explore ourselves. So yeah. So I think having that time to just do that, I think helps me to trust myself more. And yeah, including, the triggers is one of the chapters that we work on. Yeah.
Yeah. I would totally do yoga, but I'll fuck around and fold myself up into a pretzel. I said what I said. And I'm fat. That doesn't work very well.
You know what I'm about to say.
I am fat and I have fat. And so Casper, what about you? You wanna
Damn,
I know.
you
We're
just gonna
yes!
pick me. Pick that.
Well, you're the last. You haven't gone.
It really? I don't think no. Sean didn't go either. You picking
Sean
on
did.
me? No, he didn't.
Yes,
Not
he did.
for this.
Sean, am I lying?
Yes, actually.
I don't think what was the question?
No, he
again?
didn't.
Did you try? Was there ever a season where you didn't trust yourself?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna be completely honest. The horrible thing about ADHD is you can burn out really quickly. But that's because I've been putting all of my focus. I'm trying so hard to put all of my focus into this conversation, and I know my limits. And I think this is one of the last darker things I'm going to talk about. But I recently went through a narcissistic relationship where my trauma was shielding me from the ability to see that I was being used, manipulated, love bombed, and exploited and tokenized, and it ruined and obliterated my sense of trust. And after working with my psych and my therapist, I realized that I generate anxiety by having a death grip on my past self and my identity. And it's okay to release that in order to gain another part of your identity that holds more perspective and that's more true to itself. And it's so painful and it takes time, but it's absolutely valid. And it's nearly impossible to do it when it's under the circumstances of working through trauma. And then also, as a person pleaser, it's so gratifying to just tell someone to literally fuck off and get out of your face and make that boundary. And when they overstep, threatening them with legal action because you read the entire terms of service of a privacy policy of a company where they're going through for a burner phone to harass you.
Timber! Somebody go get that tree.
Mm-hmm. But I love it. I love setting boundaries now. I used to hate it. I love it. I love it.
It's freeing, and I'm gonna set a boundary right the fuck now. Key, I love you. Stop it. I'm not going hiking. I'm not doing yoga. Let me live my best fat life, damn it. Casper, you want to go ahead and I don't like V's question. Can we skip it? Casper, you want to go ahead and answer the question? Was there ever a time where you didn't trust yourself?
Yeah. That's only because so with bipolar disorder, I don't like to react off of emotion. Even though sometimes it feels really, really good too. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody about to get this verbal ass whooping, pardon my French. You know what I'm saying? It might be empowering, but then I have to realize that emotions are fleeting all the time. So it's always good to do something about your emotions instead of letting your emotions do something about you. And that's something that I constantly have to keep myself in check of as I'm consecrating myself daily with my mental health. I go overtime up here, and sometimes it's exhausting, but I'd rather be exhausted doing productive work than be lax and be destructive and be toxic, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. So
can I add one last thing, Jess?
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing that's been helping with the trust too is being able to acknowledge like two big things. What are my intentions here and what are my boundaries? Because I think a lot of times, like when we start to, I've been in places where somebody starts to speak for my own intentions, right? And I'm sure we've done that to others, unwillingly as well, right? Or, but be able to say, okay, to really examine it, like, what is my intention here? Okay, and to own it, so, and be able for both, for, this is my boundary and it's okay for me to have this boundary, Yeah. And then, and ask others. I try to ask others too. And like, what are your boundaries in this situation? So I know how to respect them,
Yeah, definitely. The question for everyone on the panel: has everyone eaten at least one full meal today? Shut up, V. I've been snacking, but I have not.
Damn, Sean did. Sean left the witness bench. You see how my man was like,
shit.
He left the bench. He probably didn't even feed the dog. Like,
no further questions.
Right? He was like, "Oh shit, that's right." What about you, Shauna, Casper? Have y'all eaten a full meal today?
I've been working on just having more defined meals. So sometimes it might happen a little more strung out, but this in the mornings I try to have like or not try to have, what usually brings me joy in the mornings is like my nuts and dried fruit and a green smoothie and like this organic granola bar thing I've been getting into. So it's like that is giving me like comfort in the morning. I realize. So like, I don't know if that's a meal. That's probably more. I don't know. It's something. It's an energy booster. And then I try to have like at least one meal throughout the day, and if not two after that. So today I got like one, and I need to get some more greens. Thank you for asking. Did you?
Oh, she did. I was on FaceTime when she did.
Oh,
So
okay.
we can't even pull her baby hairs because I watched her eat earlier. Damn
That's
it.
such an important question. I appreciate
It
that. That's
is.
love. That's
It
love.
is.
Yeah.
Sean, Casper, did y'all eat a full meal, at least one full meal today?
Yeah. Okay, so I said I wasn't gonna lie. So I'm more of a grazer because, I mean, my brain is just not wired to eat 3 full meals a day. But I know I have a rule and I always follow it. If I'm gonna put food in my body, no matter how little, it has to be good food. But when I'm eating a lot of good food, okay, I can have my cheat days, which is why I'm currently fixing myself a salad, because I was thinking in terms of like self-care, aftercare. This conversation is deep, it's taxing. I need to feed my little noodle in there. Like, and if I'm not, I can't love myself if I'm not going to feed myself nutrient-rich food. And I know that question came from love, the way it was phrased. So I want to thank you for the person who said that.
Yeah.
Everybody's coming for you today. Now, Anne said shakes are not a meal when that's all you've had today. ... Sean.
Hey, it was
Sean
balanced.
got
It
caught
had
in
protein,
4K.
it had good fat, it was a balanced shake, okay?
Gotta have more than a shake though, baby. Casper, what about you?
I started the podcast with ramen. Y'all wasn't paying attention. What you mean?
I was paying attention, but I'm just saying let's answer for V's sake, because you know she'll pull our baby hairs on the Zoom after we're done.
I mean, she could try. I mean, like, but yeah,
She don't have to try. V is a Southern
no
mama.
So no cap, like as like the countdown was going on, I was like, ooh, I gotta, because you gotta take the noodles off the burner before they get real soggy. And like, you know what I'm saying, where they look like white people that chill in a hot tub, it just looked nasty. So like I had to hurry up and just get it back here real quick and make sure it was still applicable to this people's bodies. You know what I'm saying?
Can you say that analogy for me again?
Nope. Sign up for the Patreon.
White people chilling in a hot tub for too long. Damn. So I didn't see any more questions in the comments. So let me ask y'all.
Plugs.
Yes, let us do our shameless plugs. Let us start with my brother Casper. Y'all know he got a clothing website, right? I own some of that shit. Come on,
I don't
bro.
know what y'all talking about.
Can we please talk about ghostthreads.com?
Good lordy. So you can go on over to ghostthreads.com. That's 1 T. So GHOSTH. Oh, I can't spell my own business. Good God. READS.com. I'll drop the link in the comment section. We got stuff for men, ladies, unisex, you name it. My moniker is Mr. Lee with Love. I don't do division unless I'm doing math homework. So you'll find something for everybody in the website. And synesthesia be coming out on the threads. You know what I'm saying? So I got this. What you say? You need more than noodles? Add greens and meat to the ramen. Well, it was shrimp flavored. What do you want from me? Like, my God. Like,
I mean, I don't know why she talking, because she'd just be adding slices, processed as cheese to hers.
You can't even trust her because she's talking about no. See, let's talk about V for a second, because she said add some greens.
Love though.
She's talking about like add some greens. She doesn't even think vegetables exist. Like, she needs to just be all the way quiet.
No, I'm not doing that tonight. No. I love V, and I want to still love V at the end of this podcast. Sean, do you want to go ahead and talk about your artwork? Your beautiful
Definitely.
artwork.
But first, before I talk about myself, I want to thank each and every one of you on the panel and the host. Y'all are so beautiful, not only on the outside but on the inside. And I truly mean when I say this, I love you all. and y'all are absolutely amazing. And I cannot wait to literally, in my own time, deep dive each one of your accounts, cyberstalk you, get to know you, and then privately reach out and actually create a genuine friendship, because y'all
Bro,
are giving
we
everything.
got deep as hell in there. You're already adopted. You're my brother. If you want my number, I'll go ahead and give it to you. Like you're my brother. Prashana is my sister now. That's just it is what it is. It is what it is.
Do I get adopted?
You
You've been
been
adopted.
adopted.
Yeah.
You've been
What
adopted.
the hell?
But why come everybody else get adopted? Like, it make me feel left out. Why
Nigga, you
everybody
the
else
one
had
that
it? They,
adopted
We just
me.
got
but why?
here.
Why?
Oh my
Why?
God.
Like,
Been in the house.
I'm just saying. I don't know.
You just felt left out.
I don't
It's
know.
okay. It's okay. I still love you. I still love you.
Just feels colorist to me. I don't know.
But yeah, Sean, your artwork. Where can
Definitely.
people buy your artwork and view it?
Yes, so my artwork currently, I am building an amazing website. Well, my best friend is literally building a website. We're really close to launching it, but I will have everything on a portal there to be purchased. But for the time being, if you're interested in a commission, which is all chromesthesia-based art, you can DM me on Instagram, and I will send you a contract and everything. But I essentially create art that's multimedia in any sound or song that you wish. Like if it's your name, if it's your spouse or your partner, if you want to send a recording, like what it looks like. I can give a few examples. This was pre-cancellation of Billie Eilish, so y'all don't get mad at me. This is what, let me turn the white filter on. I don't want to bluify this. This is what Billie Eilish's Your Power looks like to me. And it's multi-dimensional because it's all resin. Get a good look in there. But I also do names. So this is what Mark looks like to me. It's really freaking crazy. Oh, sorry,
Oh
not
my
crazy.
God, I love that. That is so cool.
Wow, that's dope.
And I love it. And then like music, sometimes it's really simple. It's just like a really quick piano piece. That's all it looks like sometimes. And I literally just got an email for a commission. So
yes.
please email me.
Dope.
And your username for Instagram is the same as your TikTok, correct? Sean SBV.
Well, so my Instagram is tagged in my bio for my TikTok, but my Instagram is my full name, Sean Zolik von Valkenburg. So you can just go to my TikTok at Sean SVV and like click the little camera icon, and it's all there. Also my YouTube, but I need to put more content on that platform.
Well, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm never gonna be able to spell your last name, and I'm never even gonna try. I don't even do that with Casper's last name. I can't do it. I can't do it. Prashana, is there anything that you have that you would like to promote? I heard you got a YouTube, girl.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff that I've been working on in my classes for like decolonizing history, decolonizing science, I've been working on video series for that. So it's on youtube.com/browngirlsthink. Brown Girls Think, and you can go on my TikTok and click on the website. The URL is right there as well. So as long as TikTok's not censoring, I'm on Instagram under the same name. And if they're censoring, then just go to the YouTube page. And if they're censoring, we'll figure it out. Prashana.com.
For sure. So I think everyone up here, I see some people asking for our TikTok ads. I believe everybody up here has their TikTok ad up. So basically you can go ahead and I know Casper's is Mr. Lead with Love. Not the Kid Casper one. However, if you would like to follow his YouTube channel, it is Kid Casper. Don't look at me like that. Shut up. I guess for me, the only thing I would like to shamelessly promote is this YouTube and my TikTok. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers so I can go ahead and go live and I don't know, maybe do a dual live with Prashana or Casper or Sean. I know somebody I know Ann asked if we can have this conversation again. So maybe Sean and I can have it on do a live on TikTok. I'm just saying, everybody go follow. But yeah, so I think this conversation was absolutely amazing. Thank you everybody for coming on. So let me ask you this: if you could could choose to see one person on this show for about any topic at all, it does not have to be a mental health topic. Um, who would you choose? However, there's a catch. Um, you have to be able to help make it happen. It has to be someone that you can help make it happen. Who would y'all choose? Who want to go first?
I said before, I'm gonna say grown up mutants. They're this family that I follow. They're mad love. They're woke. They're funny. But yeah, I'll say them for sure.
Awesome. Sean, Casper, y'all got anyone that you would love to see on here? Any topic at all, but you have to be able to help make it happen.
I would. No, yeah, I'm gonna say her name. Bogatwe. She's an amazing educator in terms of like intersectional feminism from the lens of the Black diaspora, and someone who I was quick to not listen to, but someone I need to give absolutely all the attention right now. Um, she's absolutely amazing, and I'm really pissed that while a lot of people listen to her, she doesn't have enough followers, and she has so many things that need to be said and listened to.
I'm gonna have to check these people out. Y'all are giving me some names I've never heard of before. What about you, Casper?
I think this would be pretty dope as far as a dialogue. um, I had them on the BIPOC Solidarity episode. Well, I had them on the BIPOC Solidarity episodes. Pardon me. Globin, I think that their handle is, but Logan, who I had on the BIPOC Solidarity episode, uh, funny content creator, hilarious, super sweet person, everything like that. I think if not for actual discussion, maybe a one-on-one interview, I think that would be enriching for your audience.
I love Logan, and I think it's Glob Logan. I
Glob
think there's a
Logan,
L.
Globin. I don't
I don't
know. A
know.
lot of these names make my dyslexia hurt. I don't I don't know
I
what to tell you.
look. I am not as creative as some of the people I've seen on TikTok. Like, I just put Wayward in front of my name. I couldn't think of some of the things that I see. Um, so I just want to say thank you to everybody on the panel for coming and sharing your stories and sharing something so personal. Um, I appreciate that. I want to tell y'all that I think all of y'all are beautiful, and I want to thank everybody in the comments for be feeling safe enough to get vulnerable with us and tell us their stories as well. I've been watching, um, and I think all of you guys are strong, beautiful individuals. Um, so, with that being said, we are going to close this out. Y'all on the panel, stick around after we end it, so we can, go ahead and chit chat for a second. Everybody in the comments, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and follow these beautiful people on TikTok and Instagram and all platforms. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok. If you're not already, I don't know what you're doing with your life. And remember, don't be a dick. Have a good night.